Geeks and Drinks on. Jason.
Jordan.
We have our friend Dom joining us this week. How you doing, man?
Hi, everyone. Doing great, thank you.
You make it surprising. Again, this is like the second time you've been in a video.
Yeah, but I mean,
It was like 2 years ago.
Exactly.
I know, it has been a while, but that's fine. We all saw Captain Marvel. We're going to talk about that later on. But we first, what drink we have? Our usual, our
Classic Winchester.
Our Winchester. How much are we in this bottle already? Like 2/3 already?
Yeah, about that.
Goddamn.
And we got a full handle of it. It'll probably be gone by the end of this episode.
Sounds about right.
And we have our collection in the back as well, so.
Right, they're alcoholics.
No, the show's called Geeks and Drinks.
I
What did you
prefer the
expect?
term booze enthusiast.
Yes. You know,
Booty
Or
enthusiasts.
alcohol aficionado.
then our next step is
Bitch.
to do a crowdfunded distillery. No. But let's just get into our usual conversation starters. Starting off with, because we say we're not sponsored, but we really are, by Disney. Star Wars Land. Disney announced a ton of information about the upcoming release of Star Wars Galaxy Edge, their brand new 14-acre expansion to Disneyland and Disney
Just
World.
throw this out there. The only way they make me drink that green milk is if they actually give me a giant Muppet version of the alien. Just like Luke, I can go mouth to teat.
Did
Hey,
you
you
let...
never know.
Oh, yeah.
Get that full experience.
Goddamn.
Well,
That's fucking
it's
terrible.
funny you mentioned about the experience because
Because Last Jedi's fucking god awful.
we can't go a single episode without you trying to bring
We've
that
gone
up.
2.
No,
Remember-
last episode.
No, because I remember actually when I made the gap of like 2 episodes, you're like, man, how many episodes have we gone? I'm like, 2.
You're keeping a running tally of this.
Just because I was proud of myself for not mentioning it 2 episodes in a row.
See, that's when just like over here, like, you fucking counted just because of... Oh, God.
Oh, you just be a dick. It's anything new.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's true.
spiteful as hell.
Because the movie's fucking garbage.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Hot, wet garbage
You and
on
I
a
are the
sunny
same.
day.
You and I are on the same boat on that.
Aside
But
from your wrong thoughts about this movie and whatnot, the series, the land itself.
Last I checked,
they put-
motherfucker, this is America, land of democracy. 3-1 just said it's hot garbage.
I'm the mediator. I would like to say my opinion on that, but you guys already been talking about it.
America.
I'm out.
America.
I love you.
you're stuck in this. God damn it. Anyway,
Fucking rotating troll.
the fucking land. It is fairly huge. They have it. Every single part of it has been heavily researched and thought out, not only in terms of crowd control, but also of storyline for now and also in the future. They try to make this as future-proof as possible.
Oh, and so Rian Johnson's not involved.
Anyways,
They have a bunch of cool boozy drinks. One of the things that we're mostly looking forward to, aside from obviously their no expense was spared, because
Yes.
everything that they've shown is exactly like that. The only real downside is the fact that we're getting. Would you call it a soft opening?
yes, I would consider it a soft
Because
opening.
they have like a soft unofficial opening, which is in May.
Well, it's an official opening, so the way they
But not
try to
everything's going to
explain
be
it-
open though.
Everything but one thing will be open. So all of the stores, all of the bars, all of the food and stores and whatnot, that'll all be open, including an area where you can actually spend money.
I like that
And
the
you'll
first
actually
thing you
have-
mentioned to be excited about was the bars. I mean, not
And
and there's
am I
only.
wrong?
I mean, there's only the one bar, and the drink's just kind of like, eh.
It just sounds like the old school DCA layout for the Hollywood Boulevard. Like how everything is spread out like mad.
Well, the whole idea behind it, because I was trying to get to that, is that you have the 2 main rides in the center. We'll talk about those in a second, but they have it split out. Like in the far corner, you will have the resistance space where you can go and meet them and talk to them, and on the other side, you will find it's called the First Order, trying to recruit new people to join their ranks.
And then halfway through the day, they do a ceremony, kind of like the sword and the stone bit, except both sides just rush each other.
I just
That
find
would
it.
be amazing.
I would kick the shit out of some kids.
I
I
just
know you
find
would.
it funny how they have a thing called recruitment for the First Order, and if we're going by the movies, literally no one knows what the fuck the First Order is.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
I
mean, Rian Johnson didn't explain it well enough for you.
right?
Oh my
I'm not.
God.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get into
already
that.
regretting this.
I'm not gonna get into that.
I'm already regretting. Anyways, like there's a little thing for right in Tomorrowland right now. They have a little thing where you can build your own little lightsaber and whatnot. They are massively expanding upon that for this. It'll be a whole experience. It's like 20 minutes long. You can have up to 14 stations, and there's someone there with the whole story of like how they're looking for
Way
someone.
too much.
They're gonna have that storyline add to it, but these are metal encased lightsabers. You actually choose your own crystal. You put in there. You put all the parts together for it. You can buy as an actual saber for it if you wanted to. You're gonna spend money, but it's a cool little feature.
Yeah, you're probably gonna spend like $300 for that at least.
Not even. It starts at $20 and it goes as high as $175 for that.
For that's like for
Like the
detail
actual metal
customization,
one
like
was
what
Detail
you do.
customization,
Okay.
and you can add a hilt too. That's detachable. It's not retractable,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's detachable for that.
So if I wanted to say
I'm-
fuck it, make a Darth Maul
I was gonna say, I'd make a
lightsaber,
Revan one.
what would you estimate that to be?
No one knows. We're
Okay.
guessing at this point. One of the restaurants that they had there was to showcase their grill. But the way they are showcasing it, how the food is being cooked, is actually they have an engine from a pod racer hanging from the ceiling, just shooting the heat down into the grill.
That didn't seem very healthy.
Now this is pod race. Every 5 minutes you hear that
Did you guys
fucking
see
line.
the Unreal Engine thing of like pod racing?
Yes.
That looked
I
right.
have not, and I need that in my life
they
now.
are the same team is also doing one for Dark Order.
I've seen the one for KOTOR, and that made me hate life because it will never happen.
Yeah, unfortunately. But let's talk about the two rides, or the ride. So, to get to your point from earlier, when they made the announcement, there are two main attractions in this new land. One is the Millennium Falcon ride, and then the other one is Rise of the Resistance. Now, the Millennium Falcon ride is going to be open at the launch on May 31st. The Rise of the
I
Resistance
see
ride.
what you did there. Called it a launch because it's a ship and it takes off.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
I know that wasn't intended, but I needed to say that to watch him slowly down.
Fucking hate you.
But
Come on, we'll hang out in Docking Bay 94. It'd be great.
That just felt like
There better be a Docking Bay 94.
a Street Fighter move out of nowhere. Cross counter, just like fucking out of nowhere.
And that's what I call big damage.
So, the amount of tech that they've thrown into the Millennium Falcon ride is impressive as all hell. Aside from having the centerpiece, which would be the 1/1 scale, Millennium Falcon.
Is there going to be a Lando character walking around the entire time just trying to sleep with everything?
There better be fucking one.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
There's gonna be he's gonna be fucking robots now thanks to fucking Solo. So
Did you not like Lando in that?
no, I love Lando in that, but I was just kind of like the whole him being pansexual did not make sense to me whatsoever. But whatever.
It kind of makes sense. The problem is they made it a thing. That's the problem. If they just left that unsaid, I think it would have been much better.
If they would have alluded to that instead of like forcing it down my throat, I would have been okay with it. Like if he went like a wink to a
So
robot or
now
something,
you're
it would have been
with things
okay
not
with
being
it.
forced into your throat.
Only when you're not paying me. Moving on. The reason I found that incredibly annoying was it was thrown down my throat.
Oh, it's
If
like
it-
LeFou in for Beauty and the Beast.
He's gay.
He's openly
Who
gay. He's not
cares?
that gay.
No,
There
he
was a
isn't.
scene that was 10 seconds long.
That would
Half
have
a
been
second. 10 seconds would be an exaggeration.
I was combining the two of him in the talking in the song with Gaston, and then that bit at the
That's
end.
just
of the dance.
flamboyant.
like if it was like gradual like that, like if he like winked at a robot or something like that, like okay, that's weird, but cool, okay, that's how he is. But it's like, can a robot and a person work? It works. Okay, I did not need that type of information. So
Remember,
Eh.
she's part of the ship now. Anyways, so one of the cool things I came across with this ride is that how every ride has like a pre-boarding area where they get you ready to go on the actual ride itself. This one, you're actually in that the centerpiece of the Millennium Falcon where you have like the
Play chess?
Yeah, where you can play chess. You can actually sit there and they probably have a boatload of little things you can do while you're waiting for your turn. But you're actually inside the Millennium Falcon waiting for your.
So I'm
to
just
go
trying
through
to think of it how it is. It's essentially when you're waiting for Star Tours, instead of walking through an interactive environment, you are actually in the Falcon.
Just
at that point.
loaded into it?
there. No. Okay, you know how you go to the Star Tours, that whole thing you're winding up to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There may still be that, but that next part where you're standing in lines waiting before you get into the ride itself.
So-
that part is where you're gonna be inside.
So
the
instead of waiting for your shuttle, you're actually in the Falcon.
inside the Falcon.
Okay, that's the last second
Yeah.
waiting point.
That still seems a
Okay.
bit too much like Thunderdome. Like you'd have some little shit just guarding one thing the entire time.
Yeah. But once you get on the actual into the cockpit itself, there are 6 stations. There are 2 pilots, 2 gunners, and 2 engineers.
Gunners aren't.
So the whole thing is that no matter where you're sitting, you actually have something you have to work with everybody else on to get a better score on the ride itself.
So
you're
you're-
always going to win or pass the ride It's just a matter of how good or bad you do as
How
a team.
So not
everyone
to bring Donald
cooperates.
Glover back into this. This is like that episode of Community where they're in like the KFC like bus shuttle. Where everyone has to work together for a common goal.
Actually, yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I was thinking that's
So.
a way better example. Cause I was thinking more of like a raid, like on, for example, like WoW and etc.
No, it's. I'm gonna get really geeky for a second.
Handle.
There is a Star Trek game called Armada where you can actually have multiple people join, and each person can either be on the
The
computer or
VR one or the
laptop.
original one?
The original one,
Okay.
not the VR one. But every person has their own station. Like I could be in science, or I can be engineering, or I could be the comm.
He's a Uhura the entire time.
And you have to physically you actually communicate with everybody else to get things done. That's pretty much the same thing they're doing with this, depending on your positions. The the people in the pilot seat, one can move up and down, the other one can move left and right. You people who are the gunners, you have people who actually have to repair the ship as they, as it breaks down while they're trying to escape whatever they're trying to do. And the thing is, combined with the app, it'll actually give you a score or a ranking on it, and how many points you get or credits or however they're going to do that. Depending on how well or bad you do, there will be other things that will happen to you outside of the ride. If you do very well, someone from the Resistance may hunt you down and basically say, "You're an amazing pilot. We've heard of your great, your great mission. We want to recruit you. Here, have this little token or something like that." Or if you do really bad, the First Order starts putting a bounty on your head to go, find you within the land itself.
That kind of.
I couldn't be trusted. If I did really, I would strategically go out of my way to do really well. Somebody's like, "We want you to join the Resistance. I want 20 space hookers and a crate of your finest space whiskey."
Space whiskey. All right. So, with all that being said, to some people this is the downside for.
Oh, it sounds god awful. I want to go with our other plan of hanging out right there by that smoking section. That's across the way.
Get to that,
So we can smoke, drink, and watch the people just be complete jackasses.
Because of the whole thing that they're trying to do crowd control, because everyone in the
On top of
want
that,
to get into that.
all of it.
Yeah. So to try to prevent everybody just bum rushing the fucking land the moment it opens up.
Reservation bullshit.
Because there was people like we just now were considering like, what if we got a hotel? They had the magic morning hour and bypass the line and go in there and whatnot. That's been suspended. Not only do you have to make sure you have obviously a ticket for the land for that day, you also need to make a reservation to get into the land. It's no cost, but you have to make a reservation to get in. So what we were joking about online was that, well, right outside the entrance to Star Wars Land, there's a big smoking section. So we take a few drinks in, we have a few smokes, and I can make these little cards. Like you have like the judges on like
yeah, like the Olympics. Remember the old school Olympics? They had the little cue
10,
cards. 10.
5.6, and we're just gonna start rating all the guest meltdowns. What do you mean I can't get in there?
See,
Can I just wear like a Russian tracksuit and like go no higher than a 9?
Yeah, that's fine.
Now here's the thing, though. I've always been wondering is that Disney, when I was working there, they've been hiring more and more security, like overall. Now I just want to know how things are gonna work over that land, considering the fact that we're talking about how popular areas can be with alcohol involved, and technically the security can't really do anything physically
They
to
already
you.
had the training for that over at DCA, because remember the booze, and you can walk around with it, and there's been plenty of stories of people having a little too much and had some incidents.
But that's my issue, is that we're talking about DCA, which doesn't have that many guests in the first place, and those are isolated incidents. I've seen people being escorted out, but those are like single people throughout the day. This
Right.
is gonna be one of the most popular lands known to mankind with
Oh,
alcohol.
it's gonna be a fucking shit show.
That's
for a couple
fine.
months.
That's fine. Mean.
It is going to be a shit show, but I also have to look at it that Disney has probably been planning the security aspect of this since the inception of the idea
Oh, yeah.
of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus the plain clothes, plus hidden security, plus security cameras, plus I'm sure there's probably an extra jail somewhere in
But
there.
that's what I mean, though, as in a sense of like that much population on and that and the fact of what security can actually do, because they cannot get physical. It's illegal at this point for security for a theme park
Unless
personnel.
they've made some changes. Who the hell knows?
That's exactly what
Maybe
I'm curious
the
about.
plainclothes officers aren't Disney police, but actual Anaheim PD. Who
Yeah,
the hell knows?
That would make sense, and
That
that's
wouldn't
what
surprise me at all.
exactly, and that's what I'm curious about. Is the personnel and how they're gonna subdue people, because on that front alone,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's gonna be hundreds of drunk people. Period, hands down.
Well, especially because, okay, I know that when eventually we go see this and whatnot, we're gonna sit there and we're gonna try all the drinks, or at least the drinks we're interested in at that point. But we're not the ones to get to the point where we're just absolutely wasted. We know how to carry ourselves. There's gonna be people who are gonna be like, I need to try everything now. I'm not gonna remember this because I'm gonna get sloshed, but I'm gonna try it all right now, and then they go off and be fucking stupid.
Well, that's what I'm curious about, because if there's gonna be some, some assholes that can be sloshed and start something with you two, but yeah, you know me, I'm gonna get involved, and so that's because you see me do it already. So it's like, what is?
Dude, I can only hold you back so much.
I was like, what is Disney security gonna do? Because I remember working there. There was a security officer who was no taller than 5'1", and I'm over here. Like, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you security for children? Because Jordan could literally just be like, and you're done.
They're gonna offer you the tenderest of PB touches.
Most
I'll make it last 10 seconds if you stop now.
I mean, not to be sexist, but not even sexist
Too late.
because true. But even if a guy was 5'1", like, what is he gonna do to me? What is he gonna do to Jordan? What is he gonna do to you?
So they're probably gonna have contingencies in place to try to deal with all of that. So.
And then again, I also have to wonder if they're gonna up security all the way around.
Oh yeah.
Like, think about bag checks in general.
Exactly. That and the fact because they're gonna be because once you're absolutely right, and the fact that there will be drunk guests leaving that side of the park.
I was thinking not just
No,
drinks,
you were thinking the bag checks in general, the other stuff as well. But I mean, like, I'm
Yeah,
just adding on
like
to that.
general narcotics in addition to
Exactly.
alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one
or just
asshole
the angry
tripping
people,
balls.
or the angry people who are just like, I'm surrounded by too many people, I can't stand it, and they have a panic attack, and they freak out.
See, that's what I'm wondering if Disney will opt out and actually get like a private security company as well.
I'm sure they'll have to do something along those lines.
Yeah,
given how popular
there's
this
just
is
too
gonna
many
be.
people that are coming to the park at that point.
Well, you gotta look at it this way. It's also a good reason why they are doing this so-called soft open on May 31st, because that whole reservation thing lasts until the end of June, I believe.
Okay.
So they have plenty of time to go through and try different things and see where everything goes with that. So,
Yeah, this is in the trial stage at this point, really.
But I do have to say, though, once that Rise of the Resistance ride comes out, because that's going to be more of an experience than anything else, because it actually has a cast of actors to go through and do all these other things. And it's going to be a 30-minute attraction. That's going to be ridiculous.
I just want to know the wait time just because of how ridiculous it is. Because we all know it's going to be stupid, but it's like, how stupid?
When Guardians of the Galaxy was launched in California Adventure, what was the wait time, hon? Like 7 hours? Yeah, to get to that.
Yes.
When the Avatar Land opened up at Walt Disney World, and they had their main ride, the Flight of the Banshee or something like that, that was also like a 6 to 7 hour wait to get through it.
I can't. And when Star Tours opened, I remember that day, those weeks wholeheartedly because I was working at Plaza Inn. If you guys aren't familiar with that, Star Tours is literally right next to it. So we're getting lines like zooming back and forth, and we had our lines mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
So we had no idea what was going on. So it wasn't like, okay, is this ride 3 hours? Because they couldn't tell.
Should have just hung out drinking. That's what I did when I worked at Plaza.
Smart.
And again, to fact check you, the ride in for the Avatar ride, it's Avatar Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage, okay.
Flight of
Thank you
Passage.
for correcting
It's
me.
Avatar. Who gives a shit?
I love the fact that I have a wife who fact checks me live. But anyway.
She's a doll and amazing. But like
So,
sorry, go for it.
overall,
Yeah, but she only fact checks you. I don't think she's ever fact checked me.
she has a couple times. Anyways, so to wrap this all up, Star Wars Galaxy Edge launches May 31st. You get your tickets if you really want to deal with that, or be like us and we're just going to laugh at all the idiots walking around. So
Yeah, definitely. That's going to happen.
I could do that from home.
I mean, you do that.
And I don't have to wear pants.
You could do that at home, and you do that with me, as in you make fun of me.
You act like you're like the single target.
Yeah, but I'm the token target, so.
that only takes you
Whoa,
so
whoa,
far.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, here we go.
When you word it like that, you make it from a racial standpoint.
So that's it for Star Wars before they
Apparently I'm
start talking
falling
more
behind.
about. I mean, if I turned around and said that this entire thing was planned by Rian Johnson,
That's
would
a lie.
ask
You know
you-
why? 'Cause this is actually fun and amusing for everybody.
I would ask you, was it his first plan, like his first draft for Last Jedi? Because
To just come all over the pages and laugh.
I'm
I'm
God,
never
I'm not
win
gonna have this
No,
discussion.
you're not. You know what the worst part is? I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today about Star Wars, and unfortunately, she's not very good with names.
Okay.
That's
She was
fine.
like, "Yeah, no, I like most of the new ones. There was just one I didn't like. Which one? I don't know. I had like the Asian girl. Like it made no sense for her
There-
being that. I'm like, that was Rose. That's the Last Jedi. Is that the one? I'm like,
She was a doll. She was great in that film.
Jess, I love you so much.
hey, Jason,
Just straight up. No.
I'm gonna add more salt to the wound. This was Becca, and Mika Mind. Her favorite one is Clone Wars. So she even likes Clone Wars, and thought Last Jedi was dog shit.
I'm gonna drink to hide the pain.
Can you and I have? Well, actually, all three of us have a discussion. I've been thinking about this recently, and on IG, I've been following more and more Star Wars pages, and I've been noticing a trend. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. A bunch of prequel lovers are coming out of the woodworks. But I've noticed here's
They're
the,
slowly
that is
but surely.
expected.
here's the thing though. I noticed only because after the prequels. And I love how all these prequel lovers or whatever have been saying, "Oh yeah, you original blah blah blah, you hate the prequels or whatever." But it's like you guys are doing the literal same thing as we did. You are okay with the originals.
I can explain this.
Okay, go for it. After just one sec.
Now finish your shit first.
Yeah,
that's
for
what I
sure.
was saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that. After like 10 years of the prequel, people started coming out of the woodworks after The Force Awakening on that mixed fight, and then after The Last Jedi, fucking all of them come out of nowhere like, "Oh, we love the prequels now and shit." I'm like, where the fuck were you like 3 years ago?
I'm curious to hear George.
I
Go
think
for
it's
it.
either one of two things or a combination of the two.
I would love to hear your opinion, please. Go
I
for
think
it.
it's one, we're starting to see a generation of kids
Yes.
that grew up. Like their first Star Wars movie may have been the prequels.
May have been
Absolutely
The
right.
Phantom
I would
Menace.
wholeheartedly agree
So-
with that.
Again, they have nostalgia rose tinted glasses.
Mhm.
So don't get me wrong. We grew up watching 4, 5, 6.
Now,
Yes.
just really quick.
So
now,
but we have the added nostalgia filter. In addition to them just being the better trilogy. But we have these kids who grew up with Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, because I'm 90% sure Becca's first Star Wars movie was probably Clone Wars.
Now, if I can ask you really quick, because it goes with it. Now, after the year 2000, what is that generation called? Generation Z or?
I think they're called. As like we went over this, I think
Okay,
they're called Gen
that's, I
Zs.
just want to know. Sorry, continue.
No, we had this whole conversation about that like last week.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that's I truly believe that's what it is. Now that they're coming of age, like we have this new generation that the movies they saw when they were kids, this young impressionable youths, were the prequels.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's just that with millennials around our age, obviously not you, but
No, he's still technically a millennial.
I'm technically a millennial or that fucking subculture zennial, whatever the fuck.
What the
no,
fuck
no, no,
ever.
because he's still a millennial. He's just on the cusp.
Got you. At the millennial age, we're essentially at a crossroads for that. But for that
Because
particular thing,
93 and up is Gen Z.
got you. That particular situation, it's the same thing. It goes with my previous statement. The prequel lovers are only coming out after Force Awakens showed up, and that was very mixed. I enjoy Force Awakens. I will gladly shout that. The Last Jedi, on the other hand, I'm just going to be polite and say I didn't care for it. I'm going to be polite about
That's
it.
fine.
But for the main topic of this situation, that's when all the prequel people came out of left field.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're doing the exact
Safe
same
space.
thing.
No, they had a safe
No,
space.
it
You're absolutely right.
It's a safe space.
And
yes.
I'm just like, dude, no, fuck you guys. You're not Star Wars fans then. Sorry.
No, they're Russia in World War II.
That's well said. But
Yeah.
it's just the same thing. It's just like, you can't fucking call yourself a Star Wars fan if you're coming out of saying,
No. Because think
No,
about
no,
it.
no.
When you're constantly under attack, and again, I know a lot of people that are just it's like the prequels are shit.
yeah,
They can't.
I'm one of those people.
I don't think they're great. I don't think they're good, but I can appreciate them for what they are.
Their moments.
Their first and second one, I will debate how I do not like them, but the third, I'll fucking die to that shit. I fucking love that movie. I don't fucking
Yeah,
care who you
Revenge
are.
of the Sith was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice way to tie everything together.
Yes.
Um,
That's what it was designed to do.
Yeah, I love that movie. Fucking, I
Attack
love
of the
that movie.
Clones was really just kind of okay. It was the most mediocre, bland thing they could have fucking put out
It was
there.
the two towers of the Star Wars universe.
I have my own problem with that movie just because of editing and a bunch of other shit. Like, if
No, edit. If you want to talk editing, episode 1 was shit.
Oh God, yeah. But no, editing in number 2 is still worse. But you probably already seen it, but it's like whatever.
That was all George Lucas at that point. Which, on a side note, apparently when they did reshoots for episode 9, JJ actually hired George Lucas to actually direct those reshoots.
Which
Who the fuck knows?
See, here's the thing: the prequel over.
He has his $4.05 billion.
Yeah, he's done. He's financially done.
Now, granted, he gave, I think, almost all of that to an education fund, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
I think he gave like.
He already made his hundreds of millions.
Well,
dollars.
yeah, and, like I'm pretty sure he gave like $2 billion of it away to charity to help some like, retarded children in Africa who don't have water and can't read. Some weird like. Here's everything.
Something that allows him to sleep with.
Hey, Dominic, remember that token comment you said? That's racist. Hey, here's some retarded African kids.
For pennies a
You
day,
jumped-
Sally Struthers can feed someone.
You have jumped on the wrong show, my friend.
You jumped on the wrong
I didn't.
ship because, slavery. Moving on.
How did I tie? It didn't.
No, you're good.
Anyways.
But what I wanted to bring
Always
up...
trying to make it about you.
Goddamn
I
you.
had nothing to do with you.
Sorry.
But no, and didn't he dump a lot of it? And aren't they doing like some weird museum to all things Lucas? It's supposed to be like the size of a Star Destroyer.
And it comes, and they actually announced where it was going to be built, which actually was going to be in Los Angeles.
Originally, yeah.
No, it was originally going to be actually in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
But it was it was going back and forth between them, and then George Lucas finally made the decision of like it's going to be in Los Angeles.
Makes sense.
Okay.
He probably wanted away from Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah, exactly. That's already a pilgrimage spot as
But
is.
you know what I mean,
Same
though?
with ILM, seeing the Yoda statue.
Yeah.
That was a great
But
thing
you know
for
what I
me to
mean,
go
though?
see.
If they made it in San Francisco, it's like, we can go to the museum, and we can go to the statue.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, the museum's in LA? I guess we'll go to LA.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, continue, please.
Okay, so, the reason why I wanted to bring it up, because George Lucas, even he, if you watch his documentaries, as you both have done, he had problems with the prequels. He just did, especially with the writing.
Did they explain the bullfrog throat?
No. What?
No. Have you seen George Lucas from, when he first did Star Wars to, now?
Oh, yeah, this thing
It looks like a bullfrog.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Slowly just...
Now...
his second
look,
chin
it's
just slowly eats the rest of his neck. To where it's just this giant, balloon bag.
Yeah.
When you grab a water balloon just by the top
Yeah.
and you let it dangle? It's like that just
Yeah.
took over the bottom of his chin.
Then add some stubble on it.
But the reason why...
no amount of stubble can fix that.
The reason why I bring it up is because the prequel memers and all that jazz act like George Lucas is this fucking messiah when it comes to Star Wars. And even he had a bunch of the problem with the prequel.
But it doesn't matter at that point.
George Lucas was the Messiah for the longest time.
he was the Messiah for the longest time.
Do you not remember until IMDb became a thing?
Young youth basically grew up and they were nostalgic about that, and they want to claim that he is the end-all, be-all, and whatnot. That is fully expected and fine. Let them have that part. I mean, we are all older, we know better, but we don't have as much of a nostalgia aspect to it. The nostalgia filter clouds a lot of bad things.
Well,
Titan AE.
Hey, I still stand. That's a great movie.
we are on the same fucking side, brother. Fuck you.
How'd that work out when you saw it the second time?
Oh, Titan AE? I refused to see it the second time because you know what I did? Did that with
Treasure Planet?
Yeah, never again. I actually thought about that on the way here because of him.
How'd that work out?
I love that movie. Hey, Dom, go watch that movie a second time. You're not going to like it again. Oh, I watched it again.
Because it wasn't good. That's the power of nostalgia.
It's really not good.
You know what was good? Tomorrowland.
Shh, grown-ups are talking.
Hey, starring one of your favorite people
But,
in the world, Brad Bird.
I think for Treasure...
Stars or directed?
Directed, sorry.
If I may bring up Treasure Planet in an example, that is a genre piece. For example, I know a really good friend of mine. She loves steampunk and stuff like that. You
Yep.
put steampunk and sci-fi, this is Disney's Here You Go. No
It
matter
really
how
is.
you look at it.
Yes, I agree.
That is in no way a mainstream favorite. That is a cult favorite, no matter how you look at it. Steampunk is only alive because a small amount of people love it to death.
Mm.
Because it's fictional. You can do whatever you want with steampunk. It is an absolute creative landmine. No matter
Yes.
what you do and how you do it, it is something new.
Yes, completely.
Like Order 66 and how that game is fucking trash because it's 6 hours long but gorgeous.
Yeah.
How to make a CGI video game.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about our
Director's
top
cut. We'll leave
story.
that up to you.
Our top story. Captain Marvel came out finally in theaters to mediocre reviews, but it has fucking
No,
killed
okay.
at the box office.
You can't say mediocre reviews because because that
I-
bogs down
let
the
me
fact that
explain
there
wh-
is a lot of shit reviews from internet trolls.
Let me
Like the
explain-
fact that it shut down goddamn Rotten Tomatoes by how bad it was.
I was getting to that. The reason why I say it's mediocre reviews is because early on in the life of this movie, it got to the point of you either love this movie,
Live long enough to see yourself.
the hero, or you be the
Sorry,
hero.
you either die the hero or live long
Long
enough to see
the
yourself become the villain.
Yes.
Which you know that shit's coming back.
You know it is.
I could not give a fuck.
I know. But the thing is, with this
Movies
movie,
wait, can we get to pick, or
Huh?
just like you have to see all three?
for
The Nolan verse movies.
you don't have to see all three.
Just you want to go see Batman Begins? That's the only good one.
Yes, they're bringing the original, the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy back to theaters for like a week. Anyways,
Okay.
They're not good.
I just get drunk, just get back to the theater.
Can we just get wasted again and
Because
just watch
I'm
the movies? Because that's
like
really
what
great.
we're doing right now. Anyways,
Amy, I would have come back for you.
because I'm Batman.
And because you're hot. Anyways, so Captain
So,
Marvel, you were saying.
The reason why I bring up as middling reviews is because very early on, it got on point online, which was you either fucking love this because of the woman empowerment and whatnot, nowhere near the level you got with Wonder Woman, or you fucking hate women.
So either you like it or you hate women.
Exactly.
Can
That's
I-
where a lot of the reviews happen at the point. To the point that Google turned around and said in their YouTube algorithm, if you look for Captain Marvel or Brie Larson, they had
Jess,
to go through and
Could you
change
imagine
it.
if I was still
So
dating
fucking
Steph
hang
and we
on.
had to go see this movie?
No, you couldn't. Google turned around and said on the YouTube algorithm, if you search for Captain Marvel or Brie Larson, they had to turn around and put this as a newsworthy article, so you actually got reputable sources talking about it, because there was a huge backlash online of people posting videos daily saying that to boycott Captain Marvel, all because she had an interview going around where she reportedly stated that she didn't like white men.
James Woods actually was one of the people who did that.
Yes.
I would like.
Which sucks because he's Hades and I love that.
I know,
would
he's
like.
fucking amazing as Hades.
I would like Jordan to go first on his personal opinion of his review of the movie.
Go for it.
I have to go first?
Yes.
All right.
I know you don't have to. I would like for you.
Where do you want me to go?
No, I mean literally my review of the movie is
Then you next.
it scratched the itches that I wanted.
Okay. Giggity.
Going into it, it's like a general itch, not like a violent one. Like maybe I just forgot to manscape in a few days. Like it's like, oh,
Never a problem
yeah,
for
just
me.
like one or two like re-racks and we're good. Not like we're trying. It's not like we're playing a lottery scratcher. We're just going to town. So, anyways,
It's an issue. You probably need to see a doctor for that.
So-
You get a cream or two.
there's no bumps.
Already made. Listen.
They weren't. Look, it's not inflamed at the moment, so I don't have to tell anyone.
That's a lie.
You
You need to tell your partner.
again, it's not inflamed at the moment, so I don't have to. No. I had two big concerns going into this, and a lot of it had to do with the big controversy behind the movie. Either you love women and you enjoy this movie,
Mhm.
or you hate women because you thought it was bad.
Which they tied into with the trailers itself with like what makes
Her,
her a hero kind of thing. They threw that gauntlet down.
No, when that
very
trailer
early.
came out, you were the one to send it to us in the group chat, and I think I just typed it, and your first comment was, it's because of the her hero thing, right? I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, no, because we've been fighting this since fucking Ghostbusters.
Yes.
We don't hate women. We hate shit movies about
Yes,
women.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Poorly written movies are fucking terrible. All
so-
that shit. Continue. Sorry.
So the big worry for me was this is going to be another movie they're going to try to force. Isn't it great because she's a woman?
yeah.
No. It just wasn't a good movie. You hate this movie and you hate women.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
No, I just hate shit movies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was kind of like hesitant about the movie until Lauren saw it before us and actually made the comment, no, I really enjoyed the movie. And I went, oh, fuck.
Right.
That's the one review that would have actually changed my mind instantly.
Yes.
As well, obviously, and as well as the feminism parts of things. Sorry, I'm trying to speak very vaguely so I don't ruin shit or spoil things.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, again,
The viewers.
the movie's been out in less than a week. So out of respect, I kind of don't want to
And there are some people that still on the fence for obvious reasons.
like give it a week or two, and then I can
Fair
start
enough,
mentioning
fair
shit.
enough. So the next episode we can actually talk shit about.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, if need be. But there's little shits to be had.
I'd really love to
Very
be there
true.
for that too.
But Lauren has dibs actually.
I have school. It's fine.
The other problem I had was the nostalgia aspect.
Okay.
Being that we knew this took place in the 90s, and the first trailer immediately showed them at Blockbuster, and she's wearing a Nine Inch Nails t-shirt,
For like half the film.
but that because it all took place in like the span of 48 hours.
Yes.
It makes sense why she's wearing the same goddamn shirt.
Like 9 Inch Nails. Hey, you 90s? You 90s yet? You 90s?
Kyle Rayner. I can solve that right there. Kyle Rayner.
I will hold off until you.
Do you know who Kyle Rayner is?
No.
Kyle Rayner is the fourth Green Lantern of Earth. Well, 3814.
See, that's where
No one cares.
But no, Kyle Rayner was the Green Lantern that was introduced into the 90s when comic books first started to go into that Silver Age. Remember that time in comics where people had like way too many pouches just everywhere for some goddamn reason? Everyone was fucking like jacked up and had weird armor for some fucking reason. The 90s. Now, in an effort to make Green Lantern cool and relevant, they added the character Kyle Rayner. He became the fourth Green Lantern. He became the new Green Lantern of Earth. When he's introduced, he's wearing a goddamn 9 Inch Nails t-shirt.
Now,
Basically the same thing she's wearing, but in reverse.
now
It's a black t-shirt with the nin in white.
the really quick, the reason why it's bugging me with the Rayner thing, because he's going to correct me if I'm wrong. StarCraft 1 and 2, who is the main protagonist for StarCraft? Is it Rayner? Fucking, that's why I can't. That's why it's bugging the shit out of me.
When did StarCraft first come out?
Oh, fucking early ass 90s.
StarCraft or StarCraft 2?
Yeah, StarCraft.
Whenever Rayner became a thing.
Oh,
Jesus.
If we're talking about him becoming a thing, fucking
Just
way
say early 90s and move on.
But anyways, it's
1995, yeah.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I was
98.
I was worried that it was going to be an issue, like they were just going to like pump things heavily 90s into it.
Yeah.
But literally after the initial beginning part of it, it went into the rest of it. It's just that if you didn't already know it was the 90s, if you came into it missing the first like 20, 30 minutes of the movie, there's no way for you to have known if it was in the 90s.
So, for your interpretation, that's okay though.
No, I loved it
Okay.
because I didn't want them fisting it into me.
That's
like,
why I wanted.
like Stranger Things. I love
That's
Stranger
why I
Things.
wanted to say. That's what I
but
wanted to say.
There's a lot of it's like it's the 80s. Hey, it's the 80s. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons because
That's
it's the 80s.
why I wanted to bring up.
They're
with
in
you.
a fucking arcade playing Dig Dug because it's the 80s.
That's exactly what I wanted to bring up with you because obviously Stranger Things is the complete opposite, where it's like this is the fucking 80s, and you're okay with that.
Well, because they feed heavily into the nostalgia. Like
Yes.
they want you to try to remember that it's the 80s at all
I
times.
just want to know if you were okay with that because I know some people aren't and some people are.
It works and sometimes it doesn't. But I was worried there was going to be heavily like ham-fisted into just
For
shoveling
Captain
home.
Marvel.
For Captain Marvel, I was worried it's going to be heavily just like this is 90s. This is early 90s. Remember Smashing Pumpkins, 10,000 Maniacs? Remember when girl bands were all the rage? Because the fucking soundtrack to this movie doesn't let you forget that.
Fucking Christ, that last battle scene, Mike, are you fucking okay? We
Do you
get
know
we're in the
why
fuck-
that's fantastic?
I'm holding
because
up on
No
my-
Doubt is fucking terrible. Fight me.
Now, 1, 2, 3.
Gwen
Jason,
Stefani
go.
is the fucking worst. You give me Shirley Manson. You give me fucking Plumtree.
Fuck, give me Marilyn Manson.
Give me no. Shirley Manson's garbage. She's the lead singer.
Yeah, but Marilyn Manson's fantastic. So.
Yeah, I can give up on Marilyn Manson. Have you seen him lately?
Okay.
Touche. I'll give you that. Touche.
It looks like Clayface from Batman had sex with a scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. Like it's just saggy and sad
I'm not okay with this. I'm just not okay with it.
and just oddly goth. So, anyways, Jason, your turn to talk.
Okay. So this movie, I enjoyed.
So anyways, I liked it too. Sorry, I never actually said that.
It's gonna be unanimous for all of
While
us.
I enjoyed it, to get the controversy out of the way, I thoroughly enjoyed Battle Angel Alita a lot more.
Wholeheartedly agree with
Anyways,
that.
going back to this movie, the whole thing about focusing on the promotions about her being about feminism and whatnot, completely wrong. It is a solid MCU origin story. It follows the formula perfectly, and it works regardless of your gender. It works fine. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I appreciate whatever it was going through here. At first, I actually thought that Brie Larson, her acting was a bit wooden, but after thinking about it for a bit, and Jordan actually made a good point. She, even at the beginning, she was told time and time again for 6 years that she needed to control her emotions, basically become a robot, just straight in terms of her emotional capability. There was a few times where she expanded upon that, and she really enjoyed it, and I actually appreciated all that. Yes, a lot of her the characters around her acted circles around the character. Brie Larson actually has the Oscar to prove it, but
Wait, she's an Oscar?
because
Yeah,
yeah,
she
she
has
does.
a cheat Oscar.
For?
she has an Oscar, I forget for which movie.
But yeah.
My dad was Scott Pilgrim.
And
though.
it's pretty actually recent, actually,
It's
within...
called The Room.
Yeah, I mean, given the fact that
that movie's fantastic.
Scott Pilgrim
and you know
dated Captain Marvel while fighting Superman and Captain Marvel. But anyways, I thoroughly appreciated this film. I fully enjoyed it. I see where they were going for with this. They've already stated multiple times that Captain Marvel will be the forefront of Phase 4 of the MCU, and I see exactly where they're going for with that.
all female Avengers.
Her moving forward as a character, as she grew as a character, trying to get out of the train that she was tied behind Yon Rog.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
I forget his character's name. The guy in the Star Force that was fighting him, Yon Rog or something like that. I forget his name.
That was Jude
Not
Law,
Marvel.
right?
Jude Law's character.
Yeah, Jude Law's character.
That's I said not Marvel because I
Not
was
Marvel.
waiting for him to say that.
No,
Yeah.
it's not Marvel. Given the fact that was the
Doctor.
the Doctor. I mean, we can have a TARDIS in there. Anyways, moving there, I enjoyed that aspect, and I think they're going to explain
I think it was Jan Rog.
later on. Jan Rog, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am sure they will eventually explain why, because they never called her by name, Captain Marvel or Marvel for that
the
matter.
entire movie.
They will explain that moving forward. Not in
No, they
Endgame,
gave her another
but
name.
moving forward at that point. Just Carol Danvers at this point. She's Vers, whatever you want to call her at that point.
Veers.
Yes.
Yes.
So I will have to give massive props to Ben Mendelsohn.
From the
As
directors?
being he was the main Kree, not the Kree, Skrull.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Which
Oh,
that threw me off.
Yeah.
Phenomenal how he handled the character at the beginning, which we all expected to be the villain, and turned to be the victim out of all of this, and move forward.
Well
and
said.
proved to be a hero to his people moving forward. I
Well said.
thoroughly
Well, 'cause
appreciate
again, that kind of went into the whole Russo brothers thing. Because I remember
Yes, it
I
did.
initially wanted to be super offended by it.
Mhm.
We talked about we weren't going to do this.
Yes, we did. No, we did. 2 or 3 times we did.
I'm not doing this. We talked about this.
You
Wait
see-
a week or two.
Yes, you did. Anyways, but where I will take offense or problem
Sack of shit.
with this movie
You tricked me.
is the fucking soundtrack.
I don't want to
This
talk about that shit.
This
I don't want
movie,
to talk about it.
and Jess and I had this conversation all the way back home after this, because this movie essentially takes place in 1995. Some of the songs that they chose
Wait,
were
did they
not
come out after?
Came out after.
Ooh. That's just lazy.
Also, there's release time aside, some of the choices for the music, which I know they were trying to emulate what they had for Guardians of the Galaxy, were completely off base. Number one being, and you'll agree with me.
You know he's bad about summoning up words. There's a reason why I usually beat him to the quick with certain quips.
I'm just laughing. He goes, because we decided to do it out after. I'm like, no, bitch.
No.
That was me.
Okay, Jess found out about knew about the release dates for some of the
If
songs.
I'm not
Because this is
mistaken,
amazing.
there was something that happened about a year ago. You don't get the choice to say I or me. He has. There's the option to say we.
Anyway,
Oh, shit.
it is we. And
I
you
was
love me
there for it. I fucked it up, but I was there for. But I was there for it,
Anyways,
and it happened.
anyways. So, the number one song that choice that I had the biggest problem with was one of the final fight scenes where they were on the hidden ship for Marvel's ship.
So no
I
doubt.
agree.
Where they used no doubts,
No
just
dab?
a girl
No doubt.
for that fight scene.
Yeah,
you
I
fucking
did a
dab?
dab. I did a dab
That
just
was-
in spite of it.
That was God.
No
Oh,
one's
No,
going
that
to
was
believe you.
terrible.
Again, I brought this up.
Yes, Jess brought this up. I agree with you 100%.
Jesse, it's like a royal we.
That part made me. Fuck.
He's like, I'm gonna take what she said to make it seem
Do
like
you want to
I'm smart.
continue? Did you want to continue your point? Because that's what-
Overall, I enjoyed this. But in all honesty, fuck this movie. Go see Battle Angel Alita.
I'll say I'm excited for Shazam.
So if I had to put my input in it, if you have to ask me which is better, Captain Marvel or Battle Alita.
By the way, let me.
I've also
handle-
never seen Alita.
Let me
so.
Go
let me
see
interject
Dumbo in like
real
2
quick.
weeks.
Let me interject real
We
quick.
need to stop supporting Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman always support.
See, that's why
Tim
you and
Burton.
Tasha can be friends because she told me the exact same fucking thing.
Oh, I'm gonna cry so hard.
I will say though, I was trying to look for information to find out why Trent Reznor was saying no to having any Nine Inch Nails music in
Okay.
this movie whatsoever.
Because he's an
I
asshole.
could not find anything about that. However, he did collaborate with Disney and Marvel, so you can buy an official Nine Inch Nails Captain Marvel shirt. Mind you, this is $27.
That's actually not bad for Disney prices.
Well, that's not
Because
too.
you're saying it's like I have an annual pass. I get a discount.
So
Yeah, that's
This is an official collaboration between Disney, Marvel, and Trent Reznor.
Tell me it's part of her universe and watch
Again.
Jessica slowly die.
Ugh, I hate her universe. But again, Trent Reznor's kind of a dick about his music.
Yes,
yeah.
he is a dick about his music. But for whatever
didn't he
reason,
go to war
Radiohead.
with? Didn't he go with,
Time
to
York.
war with Limp
Thank you,
Bizkit back
yes.
in the day?
that's neither here nor there.
Oh, we're not talking about that. I'm
Anyone
sorry.
should go to war with
Outside-
Limp Bizkit. Despite
Yeah.
the fact that I know you be
Hey.
loving this shit right
It
here.
it doesn't
Because
matter
you know
because
what?
he'll be
We
keeping
roll,
rolling.
I am
God
Biscuit is right here.
damn it.
Chocolate starving. It's funny because I'm black. Moving
And the
on.
hot dog flavored water.
Dom, what is your review of Captain Marvel?
My review of Captain America would be this: if you had
Captain
to-
America?
Captain America, Marvel, because America's better in every way.
Captain America.
Which again,
If you had a chance between Battle Alita or Captain Marvel, I would immediately suggest Battle Alita because she is just a better heroine in every way known to mankind. Because
and it's Christoph Waltz.
exactly.
You can't go wrong.
But
with
here's the
Christoph
main
Waltz.
Really
here's
is.
the main point I'm trying to make. Disney is forcing the feminism with Captain Marvel hard. Battle Alita's heroine character is just naturally badass without trying fucking hard
Well,
to make her a badass.
With
Let
the
me say
exception of
this.
when she falls in love with a boy because that's fucking stupid.
We're not talking about that. I said badass, not fucking red
Well,
flag
let,
shit.
well, let me say this at
Handle.
least. The trailer and the marketing forced feminism down the throat of Captain Marvel. The actual movie itself, no.
The movie did not. Yes, the marketing did. Yes. Plus, also, she didn't help too much.
If
about
I
her
may
interview.
interject with that, I 100% in
But you know what I
every way-
mean? Like the movie
Yeah.
itself, no.
No,
But
in
every-
every
Her,
way.
her interviews and everything, that kind of goes towards marketing.
I'm gonna pause for a quick second about that whole situation. Why this whole thing started? Because she was in a major interview. She was on a podium in front of a large number of people, and she was talking about reviewers. How the reviewers are mostly plus 40 white males, and how we should.
Oh, when she
worry
attacked like
about
Wrinkle
that.
in Time.
Exactly.
No, I saw that.
Yeah,
She's justified.
she is justified, but that unleashed the internet trolls on her.
But see, but when I watched that, that wasn't an attack. That was her saying like, I'm making movies and I'm doing things, not for not reviewers, because your viewers literally are 40-plus-year-old dudes.
Yeah, well,
I will agree with that because even in Doom Patrol, Alan Tudy's character comes around and says, "Critics, what do they fucking know? They're gonna hate this show anyway."
Yeah.
Okay, Dom, speak. Poor thing. He kept trying.
I don't like interrupting people.
louder. No, sorry.
I swear to Christ. But
So, anyways, I'm gonna use my white privilege
You've
to speak
abandoned
now.
him.
I swear to Christ.
Shut the fuck up. Let him speak.
So the reason why I'm bringing it up for Captain Marvel is Because there's this one scene, as we all know that have actually seen the movie, is when she's going, "We will not," or along those lines, I'm paraphrasing, is when it goes through flashbacks of her constantly getting up.
Yep.
Now, realistically speaking, us intelligent
You know
people,
why they call it a cockpit, right?
God damn you. Us intelligent people are using that as a reference to humanity never getting up. Those fucking words. Those unintelligent
What are you
people
doing?
constantly using that as a reference to
Fixing your hand in
feminism.
here? Okay.
As in a sense of, oh, look at her, she's getting up against the tyranny of men. This is the problem with nerddom in general with Marvel. They're using that as a catalyst for feminism, and it's not. That's the problem right now.
But
I wouldn't say-
it's I look at it as a
Masculinity is toxic, dude.
Oh, 100%.
masculinity is toxic, yes, but they are playing into that, not in the movie, but in the marketing for it, because they know they'll get a strong response,
Yep,
which will get an equally counter response for people to go see it.
Negative press is still good press because you're still getting the attention
There's
you
no
want.
such thing as bad press.
I
There
don't
it
know
is.
about that though.
For in general or for
In a,
any
in a
instance?
digital age though,
No, even in digital age, because you had a number of people turn around and basically go, "Oh, this is being feminism. You can't go through with all that." And then the instant response to that is having
You all right, buddy?
Kickstarter,
Potty?
yeah,
Okay.
You know where to go?
getting Kickstarter
I know where it
and
goes.
fundraisers of getting people to say, "Let's go through and buy out this whole theater or 3, so you can have underprivileged girls go see."
But not
this
even
film."
that, because I know it hurt in terms of how things went. At like, unfortunately, it was compared to like Black Panther.
Oh, totally.
Black Panther had way more like screens and stuff done and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But again,
yes.
it made sense because that was not just dividing the gender. Like, because Captain Marvel's kind of for like white girls. At least for Black Panther, it was just, the entire African American community,
Right.
or the African community. I can't
Right.
necessarily that because the movies are released all over the world, so it's not just Americans.
Yes, very true.
Rambling tangent, but it's times like this I'm glad I'm very neutered, in the sense that I know I'm raised by fucking strong fucking women. I mean that in the sense that like I know I've come across as very sexist on certain times on the show because I've made comments about
Here and
dumb
there.
broads and shit like that.
But due to your upbringing, though, how you were brought up, you were surrounded by strong women.
Yeah, there's fucking no way around that. So I mean, like,
Yeah, I married one of them.
Dumbass.
but I mean, like, it makes sense. But for Captain Marvel, like, I at the same time, I know what true feminism is,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what it's become.
Yes.
And I've seen it become toxic, Ghostbusters, and I've seen it done well, Captain Marvel.
Yes.
My coworker Ryan posed a question to me because he knew I had certain strong opinions about Wonder Woman. And he asked me, what movie did you think was better, Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman?
Right.
And I told him, without a shadow of a doubt, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And he said, really? Why? Well, Captain Marvel was a stronger movie.
Yes,
What
I
do you
agree.
mean? But like, Wonder Woman had like more action and stuff like that. Wasn't it more entertaining? I'm like, yeah, but I was able to call it the goddamn ending from beginning to end. With Captain Marvel, it still gave me a few surprises. It gave me a few like tinglies from seeing some nostalgia.
Mhm.
Weird shit like seeing payphones or like where are you gonna find shit? Radio Shack.
I
Seeing cool
will-
characters because it was developed. We had time to realize these characters like
We
Coulson.
had 10 years to
Like
go through
Coulson.
that. Yeah.
We had this.
He was only in a handful of scenes, but you already knew who he was and how he was acting, or
But
why
you know
he
what I
was
mean?
acting
The
like that.
whole way that movie was handled was fucking fantastic.
Yes.
It was feminism in its best way.
I
Because think
will-
about it. Who was a love interest in that movie? No,
Nobody.
there was one. Think about my question again, sir. Who was the love interest? And when you give up again, I will rephrase and you'll go, oh, fuck. Actually, Jess, I'll pose you that same question.
Jan Rod.
Because you're sometimes smarter.
Jan Rod, because of the whole thing.
Who was the love interest? There are multiple kinds of love, not necessarily just romantic.
You sacrificed yourself for me? I love you.
The Love of an officer, love of a commanding officer, love of a.
I was going to say her friend.
You were gonna go with Fury.
No, her friend from the beginning. Remember the one that fucking piloted the ship?
Cheeseburgers, or whatever.
No, Cheeseburger was not. The whole thing
Cheeseburger was her original call sign.
Cheeseburger was Captain Marvel's original call sign because she threw up in the
you good?
Oh yeah.
the Gravitron, or whoever they call that.
But
central.
here's the reason why it was fucking amazing. With Wonder Woman, we had the calls, or we had the romantic love interest with her and Captain Trevor's.
Yes.
You didn't really have that. You
No,
didn't have that like forced love interest in Captain Marvel.
It was the love of a friend.
You had the love of a friend. You had that like, what happened? She came back and had to realize this was my best friend. Why can't I remember this?
Yes.
I remember her daughter.
Yes.
Like I can remember vague pieces.
Yes.
And even the friend was like, she made the comment at one point, I was fine with you being gone because I always imagined you being too stubborn to die, but I couldn't survive. I had a hard time surviving knowing that you had died.
Yes.
Tell me if that was, if the character was played by a dude, it immediately would be a romantic interest.
Yes, it would be romantic.
It would be.
But because
Now-
that wasn't there, that made it even better to me.
Yes, it did.
If I may
Now,
ask really quick, what's
go for
the topic? That's the only thing to ask.
We were just talking about the strengths of Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the fact that I like Captain Marvel a lot more than
Yes,
Wonder
I
Woman.
will agree with you that I enjoy Captain Marvel a lot more than Wonder Woman.
There was no
However, I will
forced love
say
interest.
There was no forced love interest. The whole thing with Chris Pine and Wonder Woman was stupid. But
And
I
now
would-
he's back in the fucking 80s, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Now, but he has like a weird gray streak, like right here, and his
But
weird, like
I
fantastic
will
comb over.
I will say this though, in the Wonder
Really,
Woman,
you're gonna see it, even if it has Kristen Wiig as the bad guy, as Cheetah?
Wait, seriously?
yeah. What I will say,
All I can think is her character from SNL with the little hands.
You know she's also the voice of
God
Lola Bunny,
damn
right?
it.
I'm out.
She's
I
the
don't
voice
need to
of
be here
Lola
anymore.
Bunny.
I peaked. I peaked.
What I will say though, is that I will, in terms of Wonder Woman, the most powerful scene for me was with her in the battle in the war itself, seeing the death and destruction around her, and she stands up and goes out into no man's land and goes out and fights against the enemy. That was a very powerful moment. But it doesn't hold up to Captain Marvel.
No, not at all.
I think, for my personal opinion on the Wonder Woman, because I enjoy Wonder Woman more.
No, and I'm not saying Wonder Woman was a bad movie
Yeah,
at all.
in no way
No,
you
no.
are. But my point is that I enjoyed.
If you're comparing the apples and oranges.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
I
trying to say.
enjoy Wonder Woman more because she was a symbol of what I can do without trying to prove myself because of what age she was in. If it was modern, like the god awful JVS and all that shit.
Dawn of Justice.
If we talk about that, yeah, no, hands down, Wonder Woman would be terrible compared to Captain Marvel. But
Why did you say that name?
but
God.
the reason why
Even
I
her theme song is fucking bad. Boom, 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 boom.
Wholeheartedly
Oh,
agree.
it's shit.
totally agree. Here's the
Let's
difference.
make rock cello a thing.
The reason why I actually have the song for that too.
I
The
hate
reason
you.
why I enjoy Wonder Woman compared to Captain Marvel is that Wonder Woman comes into the ranking into a bunch of men that's like, what the fuck is this? Whereas Captain Marvel comes in as an OP motherfucker and just does whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only real difference that I can have of the comparison why I like Wonder Woman more.
You don't have the sexism that you had that was inherent with the Wonder Woman in the time that they put the movie
Exactly.
into it.
But see, that's the reason why, because I like where they put the timepiece of Wonder Woman. If they made it modern, it was still going through that. Oh, fuck that movie. It would have been fucking trash in my eyes.
Yeah.
But it's World War One. They put the perfect time scene for that, and I felt that her character wasn't trying to prove she was better. She knew she was better.
Exactly.
And so with that, she did what she could to save others. That's why I love her character more than Captain Marvel in this movie. Not the
Yeah.
comics, but in this movie.
So overall, to wrap up with everything, we're not gonna try to talk about any of the unanswered questions in this film. Although I will ask though. Oh, we'll all agree with this. How does her involvement set up Endgame? She's gonna fight against Thanos. We already know this at that point.
That's all you. You're way more.
Do you think that her involvement is going to change the dynamic of the Avengers' personality?
No.
No?
Not at all.
Okay.
I think she's a fucking MacGuffin.
I wholeheartedly agree with Jordan
No,
in
she's
that.
totally a MacGuffin in terms of Avengers Endgame, and we already know that she's going to play a major role in Phase 4 of the MCU. So seeing her involvement within Endgames itself.
Remember how
Is
big
she-
of a deal in Dragon Ball Z where Goku went fucking Super Saiyan for the first time?
Fine. For the
Literally,
first time,
you're adding
yes.
a fucking blonde character to the mix that's gonna overpower things.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Jordan on this 100%, but add something else to this is that they don't introduce a weakness to Captain Marvel whatsoever. So she's a literal MacGuffin because of that reason alone. She, at this point, has no weakness.
Well,
Yes, and
yes and no. Here's the problem.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna rephrase that. She has no established weakness. Nothing
No,
in
she
the
still does.
No, she 100% does. She just does. It's not established in the movie. Period. It is.
Kind of is.
Then what is it?
I'm curious
No, I'm
about your
legit. I'm
response.
legit curious. I'm not being rude. I mean legit curious. I'm sorry. I don't want to phrase that wrong.
It's her emotions.
Yeah, but that emotion is that's.
she got that under control.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
no,
saying.
no.
She got that control.
Like, she is her own weakness. That is kind of what it is.
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
yeah, you're actually right.
Granted, the Kree. Fuck, I know I said I wasn't gonna do this again. The Kree basically told her to basically rein everything in as a means of control.
Conceal, don't feel.
You went
You know I'm-
fatality. Why are you punching me?
Because I know you could take it.
you know I'm gonna bring the Frozen reference.
I know,
into this.
I know, and I can hit him. I can't hit you. She is her own worst enemy. We've
is,
seen
yes.
how things work.
Yes.
She's impetuous. She's impatient.
Yes.
The only other character I can think of that, in close memory to me, that comes close is Dante from Devil May Cry.
You have to bring that in.
No, because if you think about it, Dante's fucking all powerful because whatever demon angel blood is fucking goes through him.
Yes, you're right.
But what is his big weakness?
His emotion.
His arrogance and his emotions.
But if I
Yes.
may say so, he can't die by normal mortal means, though. That's clearly been established on the first 17 seconds.
Oh,
of
I'm
Devil May
sorry.
Cry 3.
Are we worried about some? Which is a fucking prequel.
DMC with him
Which
fighting
you've learned
demons
is wrong.
holding a slice of pizza in his mouth. But anyways,
That's
But-
DMC 1.
But I mean, he's clearly been established.
And
as,
sorry, that's Devil May Cry
Devil
1.
May
You
Cry.
can't say DMC because that's that weird one where he had a fucking mop in his hand. It's like, that's a weird look.
okay, let's do this. Let's wrap this up for Captain Marvel. Thoughts?
Bullet, go.
It's a fantastic movie. Go see it. It ties some things in together. It did a perfect job as a first movie
Mhm.
of trying to set a lot of shit up. It just feels really late because we're seeing the end of the Marvel's first 10 years, especially with Endgame and its heels. So I'm curious to see where it's going to go.
Okay, Dom.
I felt like it was a very good movie on a lot of perspectives. If I had to put it a number, 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest, a 7. I actually really enjoyed this movie because it actually gives young girls a hero to actually like in the Marvel perspective. So overall, it's a good movie. It is not a feminist movement movie. If you actually do think it, you're stupid as hell, and just watch it to see how it is. If you like it or not, cool story, bro. But it's not a feminist movie.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. It was marketed wrong.
I will agree with this as well. The marketing was wrong on about this film. It could have been better marketed at that point. It was a solid movie. It was a better version of the MCU origin story that we have seen so far. I see where she is tying into the MCU. I see where she is going within the MCU. I'm very excited to see where she's going to go forward with the MCU. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That being said, I enjoyed Battle Angel Needle a lot more.
I still
Agreed.
need to see that. I missed it.
Sorry guys, really quick. For the whole Brie Larson controversy, Brie Larson didn't.
She's
do
hot and an amazing person.
That too.
See all the
Brie
things she's
Larson
done.
Did not do terrible as an actor or actress. She did great. It's the material she was given, which was subpar at best, in my opinion. So that's my own opinion. Continue.
We don't care about what's talking about. You guys, you guys don't care what's talking about. Hollywood cares because this has made so far as of today $550 million worldwide. It will cross the $1 billion mark.
If I'm not
easily.
mistaken, how much did Black Panther make?
1.3 billion?
1.3 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Because
So-
someone's like, it made more money than that. And I'm like, don't you fucking dare. Because that movie was actually fantastic.
That's the worst thing about being a Marvel nerd is that the moment you say that, you're like, oh, do you like Black Panther? God, I mean, sure.
It ties into this. Captain Marvel, you either love it or you're a feminist. Black Panther, you either love it or you're a racist.
I'm not okay with how true that is.
Yes, unfortunately, that is
It's
the
just
case. It is.
it's just wrong.
With this extended edition, we're gonna go through and do their quick hits, fast and furious at this point.
Because
We're
we
gonna-
kind of have to.
We kind of have to at this point.
Yeah.
So, starting off, Disney Plus is going to have every single movie in the Disney vault. The vault is basically going away. Every single film that was in the so-called Disney vault will be available day one on
Exactly.
the
All
Disney
that bullshit
universe.
Disney stuff are like, grab Snow White now before it disappears into the Disney vault forever until we released. Wait, what was the last thing we left off on? Gold? No, there was a diamond. The Platinum Edition.
The exception, the question I have for all of that though, will it include Song of the South?
No.
No.
I don't think it will.
It's borderline illegal for Disney.
Because that was never
hope it
released.
does. I hope it does.
That was never released. That's what I
It
think
had
it comes down
multiple
to.
theatrical releases and done
But again, it
progressively
never.
well every time.
But it never got an actual release.
Okay, fine.
We can find it somewhere in Shame Alley, and we
Yes,
can
we
have a
can.
movie night.
You know,
Fair
we
enough.
actually started talking about that film specifically in my interpreting class, and I
The
immediately
worst
thought of
part
you.
is, it's not that bad. In terms of racism, it's not that bad, and we can discuss it later, but we got shit to go to.
Anyways,
my
moving on.
titty-
Moving on to the next one. EA has announced that they haven't done an E3 thing in quite a while. They've done their EA
But if it's
Play
not
thing.
EA Sports, it's in the games. Does it really matter?
Fuck that shit, because it doesn't matter anyways.
Fuck you, those
So
were my
they have-
first games. NHL 92
Okay, fine.
for Super
whatever.
Nintendo, bitch.
But we're
You can make
time
motherfuckers
constrained.
bleed.
Time constrained.
For EA, for E3 2019, for the EA Play 2019, they will not include a press conference that they have in the future. Rather, they will focus on live streams of their upcoming games to allow you to get more hype for those games. If it includes anything Star Wars, I will fucking slice my wrist. Anyways,
They will, because even Disney came out and
Can-
defended them, remember? Even after Battlefront 2, everyone threw their shit fits, and Disney had to come out about 6 months later after they knew it fucking took a fucking nosedive. They said, look, we will continue to do things with EA. We will continue to try to strive for excellence.
fuck
which
all that.
which to
Fuck all
me,
that.
that's covering, and I think that someone's getting a spanking, saying fucking pull your heads out our asses. Fucking pheasants.
Yeah.
That's what we
Anyways,
spank me about. Okay.
Kicking a goddamn trash can.
Continue.
coming up with Suicide Squad 2, which will be apparently directed by James Gunn, and actually having Batista potentially being the
I'm
villain
assuming
for
King
that film.
Shark.
Be amazing.
I want King Shark.
We already said that Will Smith will not reprise his role.
We have not
as,
actually. So
as
surprise,
Deadshot.
kids. Will Smith is actually not coming back.
Fair
Because
enough,
we
as Deadshot.
skipped a week. I'm sorry. We're
We
gone.
did, yes. So instead of saying that character died or moved on with his daughter or
Recasting.
whatnot, they're gonna recast it with Idris Elba. I am perfectly fine with this.
You give me Luther and fucking Stringer Bell over fucking Will Smith every goddamn time.
Honestly, in a role like this, I have to 100% agree with Jordan on this. When it comes to a serious role like this, or a badass role,
the fact that he's an
fucking Idris.
established, like he is a trained kickboxer.
yeah, no, period. He knows what to do and how to do it. I love Will Smith to death. I 100% do. But when it comes to like mixed martial arts or physical combat in general, Idris has that shit
Also,
in the bag.
I'm against the entire fucking series as a whole.
Of
But please, can we all go have a couple drinks and go see Hobbs and Shaw?
I'm down, fuck it. I
Oh,
don't
I'm
care.
totally fine.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be a popcorn flick and we'll enjoy.
That's some
it.
Jameson and some other shit. Continue, sorry.
Anyways, so Sonic the Hedgehog.
I
this,
might have to.
This shit is making me slightly
So
blind.
there was a leak that came
Are we
out
still
on.
loud?
There was a leak that came out
Sorry,
online
sorry.
that basically stated that, or the showcase that this is how the marketing department should try to market this movie, and the image that was released for it was god awful. So with that, the internet
It's
turned
not
around
good.
and not only said this was god awful, but they turned around and said, "Here's our version of it and try to make it better than the movie itself."
John Ralphio, so I want it to be good.
And I have to say, the fan made versions of this far,
Minus the shoes.
far superior. Okay,
Because I want to like the shoes. Here's the thing: if they would have swapped those out with the fucking the soaps from Sonic Adventure 2, where it's still the half realm between realistic and cartoony,
yes,
that would have been perfect.
yes, exactly.
Obviously, the Nike swoosh.
Now,
Shit.
I will have to say though, this is a leak of what was released for.
So
the
again, we don't
department.
know. This
Yeah.
could have been a pre-concept.
Yeah,
This could have been
exactly.
a concept. It could have been a ploy to basically say we're not 100% sure about how this is going to look on to the
A
fans.
fake leak.
Let's throw that out there and see what they come up with, and then copy that.
Yeah.
That would have been honestly the
I'm
smart
perfectly
bet.
fine with that.
Yeah, that would have been a smart bet.
See, the worst
realistically
part is, I
speaking.
remember when I saw, I'm like, that's not bad. I don't see what the big deal is. And then when the fan edits came out, like a week later, I immediately thought that was quick.
I'm not
but
okay with
two-
this fucking fan shit. I'm not okay with that. I'm just not fucking okay with that.
So we'll have to see what happens with all of this. Again, nothing's been
Actually.
confirmed yet. There's only been a what was it, animated poster that came out that was basically an outline of him, which had like defined leg muscles and whatnot, which looked fucking weird.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah, the first one where it's like he was like oddly
Uh-huh.
jacked.
you guys know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. It needs more SpongeBob and more Shadow.
So he needs to eat watermelon and have a gun?
No,
You said shadow.
you don't. You obviously don't know what DeviantArt, but yeah.
Moving on. Netflix.
I'm not a
is-
complete degen.
Netflix, which has done some anime and anime themed stuff in the past, has decided to basically take Crunchyroll head on by pushing a major announcement that they're planning for many new original anime series, teaming up with such anime studios as Production IG to turn around and
Finish your
make
drink.
Yeah.
original series out there for their exclusive service that will be released online via the Netflix service worldwide. We're also including the Unaltered Carbon-based anime series, among many other original
Wait,
series
Altered
coming
Carbon's
out.
getting one too?
Altered Carbon is not only getting a second season on Netflix, but also getting an anime series to go through with it.
Huh.
Only a little bit.
So I'm
I have a
looking
plan,
forward
trust me.
with
Okay.
going with this. I call this awesome. Looking forward to it. I enjoyed Devilman Crybaby, so I'm curious to see where they're gonna go forward with it.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anyone that didn't enjoy that besides my hardcore.
Fuck the Godzilla movies. Oh,
Oh, I still need to watch those.
God, they were
Jason,
good.
did you see the thing I sent you earlier today on Facebook?
Yes, I did.
They released a new image of like Mode Godzilla, where literally he's just looking at you like this, and you see like his spinalies turning blue, and he's
And
got
his
like the weird
eyes.
blue eyes Godzilla things, or sorry, the Dragon Ball Z things.
Oh, sorry. You guys probably saw me roll my eyes really quick. It's not because like, oh my god, like Godzilla. I mean, oh my god.
It's because
I
it gave him
need that
over the
movie.
pants squeezer.
I need that movie in my life.
Okay. Also,
Thank you,
okay, we
Jess.
got a couple more things to talk about before we move forward with this. There's a report out that's saying Marvel is planning for upcoming Disney Plus, aside from the live-action TV series which we discussed earlier today, that they are working on an animated take on the classic What If comics. These are one-shots, I should say, of situations that people are probably sitting around going, "What if Spider-Man got the Time Stone? What if Wolverine got the Infinity Gauntlet? What if Jane Foster had found the Hammer of Thor?" Which they actually kind of did. But anyways.
Eventually, yeah. Oh, remember
But
we
this
talked
is-
about that, the She-Thor.
Yes, we did at that point. So this is a possible
Been doing this
series
way
coming
too
out
long.
on Disney Plus. I'm actually kind of fine with, because this kind of explores ideas that fans and comic readers have had over the, let's face it, decades at this point, and maybe picking and choosing some of the really cool ideas that could have changed the
I'm-
MCU for the better.
When I first saw that, I immediately thought of one of two things, and I hope they go that far.
Mhm.
First off, I don't remember if you remember this. There was an entire series, I think it was some point during the 90s, where they did What If Stan Lee?
Yes.
What if Stan Lee created DC characters?
Ooh.
They basically said, what if Stan Lee created Batman? What if Stan Lee created Wonder Woman? What if Stan Lee created Superman?
Yep.
In addition to that, I want them to do Amalgam. I feel like Amalgam doesn't get enough respect as a series.
I can't say
again,
anything for Moon Knight, but
Do you know what the Amalgam series was?
no.
In the 90s, there was a weird series where they took DC characters and Marvel characters and mixed them.
Yeah.
there is a character called Darkclaw, which is a mixture of Wolverine and Batman.
I've seen him.
Yep. I want that.
I feel that's how I feel about Moon Knight in general, because he's essentially Punisher and Wolverine mixed together in my eyes.
They've
but-
talked about how that's coming next year.
Okay, that's good to know because Moon Knight is fucking badass.
He's also batshit crazy.
Yeah, like, you know, like
Completely.
Batman, but you know.
But also, there's a character in Amalgam that's a combination of Batgirl and Black Cat.
So for our
If
last,
that happens, I will literally come in my pants.
and our final thing to tie in with
Ah,
this,
really? You waited for... I could have left during this?
Yep, that's gonna be all me and Jason right there.
Microsoft announced that the
Sorry, Jason and
Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. I cannot fucking wait for this.
Honestly, as no, you know what? Jordan's gonna have the shortest reaction, so I want his opinion on this.
Go.
Look, I actually love Halo. I never played a lot of the games, but I respect for what it's done for the modern shooter. I mean, I think we can all remember the first...
Halo Combat Evolved.
Well, prior to Halo, I was going to say the first multiplayer shooter game that kind of changed everything for everybody is
There's multiple. We're talking-
GoldenEye for Nintendo 64.
That's what I'm saying. That's a
Like,
fucking
I-
open-ended
yeah,
question.
that's
That is a precursor to basically
Yeah,
everything.
I think that was the precursor before we got to Halo.
Before Counter-Strike, before Halo, before
well,
a
that's
number of
debate.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I have to interject with the whole because if we're talking about consoles, absolutely. If we're talking about PC, no, because
But that predates PC. PC's weren't a thing.
no.
No, we
No,
had
that's
Quake,
100%.
we had
We have
Unreal
Quake,
Tournament.
Doom. I can keep
Doom.
going, bro. Like that.
But-
Dude, Doom was the literal definition of first-person shooter. That made up the
But
genre.
multiplayer.
Same thing, dude. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Multiplayer first-person shooters.
Quake. Done.
Mhm.
Quake.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fine. But on consoles, though, because remember correctly,
Yeah, sorry. You're
Halo was
absolutely
supposed to
right.
be a Mac exclusive until Microsoft turned around and
Mm-hmm.
bought Bungie.
Yeah,
And
that
no,
was
and that's
fun.
fine. And Dom's heard me say this multiple times. The reason why I actually respect Halo,
Yeah.
because it is a shooter,
Mhm.
but it is bright, it is colorful. It gives you more than just sitting there going, well, yeah, we're just going to give you a different version of an AK-47. Why? Well, now you have a Woodstock. What? It's not a gray-brown shooter repurposed every fucking time.
Right,
I think anyone.
Halo at least decides to change it and try to make it interesting every time.
right.
Yeah, I mean, anyone and their mother can obviously that has played Halo Combat Evolved can talk about the detailed anything that has changed their life. I know I can't. Jordan can, and he is not a first-person shooter fanatic.
I
That's true.
remember fondly multiple times that I used to have Saturday nights at a friend's house where we actually had 4 TVs and 4 Xboxes playing Halo 1, and we would play until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
It was fucking phenomenal. At
My
that
God,
point.
is this what it's like to feel normal? I can remember going out to actual like parties and stuff.
That's why I remember as an Xbox player taking I can take.
So a vagina actually feels differently when
God
you
damn
actually.
it.
That's what's funny because as a growing up Xbox player, you could play Halo with your homies. How many players, like 4 Xbox or whatever, have a
Oh,
great
jeez,
time?
if you linked enough, I think you get up to like 16.
Exactly.
Yes, you did.
When have you ever heard that for a shooter for PlayStation or GameCube?
But no, again, that's why I respect Halo.
Exactly.
Without
you
a
could
doubt,
for
I do.
Killzone, 100%. I know about Killzone, all that jazz. I played it, but it doesn't have the significance, or at the very least, the history of Halo.
So
Yes.
if before we start sucking off Halo, what was the point of this again?
It was the whole PC thing.
Coming out on PC, the whole thing, you can play it on PC, including the multiplayer aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy it in chunks, but it's basically everything between 1 through 4, including 3 ODST.
Yeah. Because
So-
him and I could talk for days if I wanted to say you.
Like I said, I won't be involved.
Then
That's
you
fine.
said, then I will tell my opinion on it.
All right, guys, this is hitting like the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna
Like you
wrap
do.
up at this point. We have a boatload of side tangents that we've done. We have a boatload of arguments we've had, like you do. But we have a boatload of drinks, like you do.
Yeah.
So I want
I'm
to
stealing
thank
the bottle.
Dom for joining us for this episode.
Just that one.
You're welcome to join us in future episodes at that. I thank you guys for hanging out with us for the extended version of this episode. And hope you guys enjoy us for future episodes. So
Also, the fun part of this, Jason, finish that while I explain this. Obviously, we
I
started
did
out.
the final part.
What do you think that silver glass is?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you can dump it into that, but
So we finish our shit.
yeah. By the time you guys will probably actually see this video, we want to wish you the happiest of St. Patrick's Day, which is obviously everybody is Irish.
And I would
Everyone
like to
gets
say,
drunk.
I would like to say, please be responsible on your event. All of you guys be safe and responsible. It'll be cool stories. I want you all
Hopefully.
to watch this all again. Not me because I'm garbage, but America.
Anyways,
Bitch, you ain't garbage.
you're our friends. You're fine.
Your recyclables or that weird thing where like you just kind of like
This is Jameson.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
okay.
is.
Again, it's St. Patty's Day.
I mean, we finished the bottle of
Yep.
Winchester,
We did what we
so
needed to.
No,
Yeah.
you guys finished it. I assisted.
Thank you very much for your
So anyhoozle, let's drink this bit of Jameson.
guys.
We'll wish everyone a happy St. Patty's Day.
For Geeks and Drinks, I'm Jason.
Thank you
I'm
for
Jordan.
watching, and thank you for having me.
Come on, say I'm Dom.
I'm not fucking saying that.
All right, whatever. And this is Dom. Cheers,
Cheers,
Internet.
Internet.